Hey guys, and welcome to section 3 of module 2. Now this is actually the final section of this module. The majority of your activities should be honed in on the trialing period. Now you may be just beginning this, so you may want to spend obviously a bit more time, during those 90 days. Maybe you're learning this in advance so that you can just go out and find the right to-do list application and follow the right steps. At least in the next module, we're actually going to be diving into the optimization, which I think is really the bit that can really dig you a bit deeper. Will actually be sort of directioning you towards some great resources and also providing you with the right mindset to really go deeper with the application. Now, in this section, we're actually going to be touching on the migration side of stuff. Now, of course, after this 90-day period, you may have chosen an application which is fantastic news, and obviously that migration process starts. Now, you may have just left your application totally empty. The previous application you were using, let's say it was Todoist, and you're now looking at TickTick as your future and long-term application. And you may be going, how do I move stuff across? The migration process does take a little bit of time. Now, the first thing I would look at is a migration tool, if that's something that you do want to do. Now, one of the typical things that a lot of people do is move stuff out of their projects into the new application. Now, the reason why we didn't introduce a migration process before the 90-day period is because we wanted you to use a tool from scratch so that you understand all of the natural abilities that that tool provides, and it doesn't necessarily clutter your workspace. Starting with a tool fresh is probably better than starting with a tool with migration. So naturally migrate using the tools that they provide, or manually migrate using project exports. Now you can do this in apps like Todoist in terms of exporting it into a CSV file, and sometimes other tools will allow an import via CSV, but there naturally will be different types of toolings out there. Now, going back to that first point about migration, before the 90 days, actually starting scratch will help you to understand some of the features that are built and baked into the application, and it may also help your user timeline in terms of you understanding what you found difficult about the application. So another reason I normally suggest starting a clean migration is because you may have had a messy setup before in your previous application, and you may be moving over looking to start a new process and a new workflow. And of course, what we're going to be doing in the next section is diving into optimization, where you may be introduced to new workflows and new ways of working with that tool that may help you to set things up more efficiently. So you can either approach this in two ways. You can either sit down for a 2-hour period and embed all of the existing application into this new application, and you've done it in one fell swoop. However, I also recommend you not to rush. Rushing with an application may push and exert the needs to switch, or may be overwhelming. So spending 10 minutes at the end of a day doing this across a week or two might be an effective way to actually move across to the application more effectively. Think about it as moving house. Maybe you've left a few boxes at the old house and you're naturally transitioning across, or maybe you want to do it all in one day. Now, naturally it's up to you, but I wouldn't necessarily rush the process because that can cause further anxiety and stress. So guys, thank you very much for taking module 2. Now, hopefully you've walked out with this module with a bit of an understanding of the principles of switching, the efficiency of moving across, and maybe starting a clean slate in what we covered in this session. And most importantly, working through those 90 days. Those 90 days are really important, and it's important to try your application in full. So take advantage of the timeline. That's one of our biggest recommendations and takeaways from this course or section. So in the next module, we're actually going into module 3, which is optimization. We'll be sending you in different directions for the way to optimize and really go further with the tool once you've set a base with it, and also just reiterating the switching philosophy as you go deeper and deeper into this tool. So guys, a big thank you. I look forward to you joining us in the next module. So join us there, and if you have any questions, feel free to pop them into me in email or in the discussions tab. Anyway guys, see you in a bit.